Jake Paul, maybe?
Easy. Too easy.
It's too easy.
Too easy.
That's right. Gervonta Tank Davis versus me, baby.
Not over it just because you fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul ain't no type of demon. This is not like he about to go in there with Godzilla. You about to play around for 8 rounds, 2 minutes with a dickhead. You know what I mean? No disrespect, but you know, with somebody that think they know how to fight. This is a still.
Floyd Mayweather has finally spoken about the much-talked fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Jake Paul. In his first public remarks, Mayweather was direct, giving a blunt take on the matchup. He praised Davis for his rare punching power and polished skills, saying Tank is a true danger in the ring. When it came to Jake Paul, however, Mayweather questioned whether his fast rise was built on real boxing ability or just hype and his social media fame.
Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder, nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
The Mayweather Jr. recently shared his views on Jake Paul, stressing that the YouTuber-turned-boxer is not on the level of top professionals. He said that while Paul has gained attention and built a fan base, his abilities are far below champions who trained for years. Mayweather also noted that if Tank Davis fought Jake, it would only be about money, not respect. He warned that such a fight could hurt Tank's reputation, since beating Paul adds nothing, but losing would badly damage his career.
But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he? And Floyd, there are many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever. Period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Boxing experts are mostly brushing off the Davis versus Paul exhibition as a sideshow rather than a real fight. British heavyweight Dave Allen called it fake, claiming Davis could easily knock Paul out while both fighters chase money. Promoter Eddie Hearn agreed, suggesting Davis may be more interested in a big payday than glory, and saying Tank looks half done with boxing, choosing quick cash instead of chasing true greatness.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195. It would be an exhibition.
Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and shit like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 pounds to get some smoke with like Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 pounds and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you are saying, you want Tank hurt, Showbiz. You a hater. You want him hurt. Then I'm convinced, okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195?
For at the same time, Dave Allen has openly doubted the Paul versus Davis exhibition, questioning its seriousness. He sees it as more of a show than a genuine contest, pointing out the huge size gap Paul fights at cruiserweight while Davis is a lightweight. Allen says this mismatch hurts boxing's image and distracts from real fights. He also spoke on Moses Itama's rise, saying testing himself against veterans like Dillian White is key for proving he belongs at the top. Allen's views show his concern for keeping boxing's respect intact.
This might be happening in an exhibition. The thing with Jake Paul, I think he's a good area title level fighter, and that's a good level. Like, and you can be proud of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good. But the Mike Tyson fight I didn't like. The Chavez fight was just farcical because he's 11 years past his best, up 6 weight divisions. But less of a problem because Chavez wasn't in his 50s. fighting the MMA guys. Again, he's fighting people that don't do the same, that they're not even in the same sport. But while they're a bit older, they're still not in the 50s. So all that stuff, I won't really watch any of it. I think I've watched one fight against Tommy Fury, the only professional boxer in and around his prime years, and he got beat. But I think his area title level, I think he works really hard. I think he trains hard. And I don't think he's a bad fighter at all. I don't think he's a good fighter, but he's not a bad fighter. For his experience, he's not bad at all. But Gervonta Davis is a lightweight. So, by all means, if they make a few quid and nobody gets hurt, then great. But I certainly wouldn't be paying a penny to watch it. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, farcical. Who wants to watch an exhibition? Gervonta Davis is in his prime years. Why is he wasting his time? Why is he having a rematch with the fella he got a draw with? Why is he not fighting? Why is he not going up a weight and fighting Lopez and Garcias and them fighters? Why is he fighting Jake Paul in an exhibition? I get the money's great, but he's in the prime years. This is his best year. This is where he can become. Maybe you don't want to be an all-time great. Maybe you don't want to do all that.
5 boxing analyst keys. Ida gave strong words, saying the idea of Davis ducking Jake Paul is false. He argued that calling the Paul fight a dodge of Lamont Roach Jr. is misleading. The Roach rematch is Davis's mandatory fight, not something he's avoiding. Ida stressed that the focus should be on Tank fulfilling his obligations instead of chasing circus-style crossover bouts. His point highlights that business commitments matter more than hype-driven distractions.
Well, I think as we discuss this, we should use air quotes when we call it a fight, because I don't see how any athletic commission, in this case the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission, could sanction this as a legitimate boxing match. I think it has to be treated as entertainment to some degree, because you can't put someone they're 65 pounds apart in weight for the most part now. If you look at the cruiserweight limit and the lightweight limit, even if Jake Paul somehow got down to, let's just say 180, and I'm not sure that he'd be able to do that at this point because he's fought so high in weight. Let's just say he got down to 180. They're still 45 pounds apart in weight, and that's just not safe. So if this were to be treated as some sort of, even though they're calling it an exhibition, a legitimate athletic event, I don't know how you could do that, because it's just not safe for someone that big and someone that small to fight each other. That's why they have weight classes. And I just don't understand. I do understand that Netflix is into tentpole events, and people will watch this because they're into the spectacle of it all, and it will draw eyeballs. But does anything that anyone pitches that people will watch, does that make it a good idea?
Dana White has at times praised Jake Paul, mainly for his ability to promote and bring attention to fights. In 2024, White admitted Paul helped draw fans and stir interest, saying he's just chasing attention and that he doesn't hate him for it. White also gave credit to Logan Paul, calling him smart for boosting boxing's profile, even with their differences. White acknowledged the Paul brothers' major role in attracting eyes to combat sports.
Jake said that I snort cocaine, that I'm a cokehead. My rebuttal to that was, I'll tell you what, you can test me for the next 5 years for cocaine if I can test you randomly for performance-enhancing drugs the next 2 years. And I never got a response on that. But other than when me and Jake Paul have gone back and forth with each other, I've never said anything to defame him. And then when he was talking about his fights being fixed, I don't think that people are actually saying that they're predetermined outcomes, that they're fixing the fights, with predetermined outcomes. They're saying if you're fighting a 60-year-old fucking guy that can barely walk to the fucking ring, right, and almost died 2 months before that, it's almost like a predetermined outcome. That's what they're fucking saying.
Jake Paul is set to meet Davis in their exhibition on November 15, 2025 at State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Even though Davis has an excellent 3:0:01 record, the size difference is huge. Paul is around 65 pounds heavier and stands 6 feet 1. Compared to Davis at 5 feet 5.5, this gives Paul a big physical edge. Davis is known for his speed and knockout power, but the exhibition rules and weight gap could limit his impact. With confidence and a clear strategy, Paul might use those advantages to pull off a shocking result.
Man, this fight has to be the most talked about thing that's going on in sports right now. And this fight has made us all hypocrites, really, and I'll tell you why. Also, I got to tell you guys who I think will win the fight and why I think Jake Paul wins the fight. I think either Jake Paul wins or it's a draw.
No.
No way.
Nope.
Since it's an exhibition, and we'll talk about that. But you saw at the beginning, this fight is just impactful. And as boxing pugilists, many of us, we hate this shit. But as boxing fans, you want real shit, right? You see Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. But then what you really want is what you're getting out of like Brian Norman Jr. and Devin the American Dream Haney.
Show me my bitch. Show me my bitch. Show me my bitch. Show me my bitch. Yeah, man, I'm right here. I'm right here. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Security at, fuck nigga. Shut up. What the fuck your security at, nigga? I don't need no right here. Yeah, what's up, nigga? What's up, nigga? You a bitch, nigga. You a bitch. Yeah, all right.
You have Gervonta Tank Davis fanboys. I'm talking about huge fans of Tank turning over on him. I saw Tank Davis fans put up pictures of him as a clown and shit. Like, this is crazy. And I get it. I totally get it. But at the same time, it has revealed a huge amount of hypocrisy. Because guess what? With everybody talking about this fight, and I see people talking about the fight who doesn't even watch boxing, especially those who don't watch boxing. Let's keep it real. This is a fight for the casuals, okay? But at the same time, with so many people talking about this fight, good or bad, the way the internet just erupted and all the socials just went crazy, this fight is going to be one of the biggest fights in history.
Lamont Roach Jr. has strongly spoken out against Davis choosing Jake Paul for an exhibition instead of giving him their promised rematch. Roach said he felt disrespected, accusing Tank of chasing money instead of real competition. He reminded everyone that fans were eager for their second fight. After the controversial draw earlier this year, Roach also hinted that if Davis won't fight him, he may turn toward undefeated WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson as his next big challenge.
I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate True Boxing Media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won. And, I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
Many top voices in boxing have called the Davis versus Paul fight a joke, far from a true competition. They point to the ridiculous size gap, nearly 65 pounds and 8 inches, as proof this is a show, not a match. Critics say the bout puts money and attention ahead of sport, comparing it to pro wrestling, more stunt than boxing. While hype is high, most experts remain doubtful, arguing that the fight does little for boxing and damages its credibility.
Boxing Doctor News. Hold on to your seats, boxing fans. The fight we've all been waiting for is finally happening. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis this November in Atlanta. But here's the twist. There's a massive weight difference. Paul, a cruiserweight, against Davis, who's never even hit 140 pounds. Is this fair? Is it safe? And get this, we don't even know if it's an exhibition or a sanctioned fight yet. But one thing's for sure, there will be a definitive outcome. So, who's got more to lose? The YouTube sensation or the lightweight champ? And what about those Anthony Joshua rumors? Looks like we'll have to wait till 2026 for that showdown. This is boxing's biggest mismatch or the upset of the century in the making. What do you think? Drop your predictions below.
Does this fight ruin boxing's reputation? Or is it the type of hype the sport needs? Share your opinion in the comments.